This is your PIR for Friday, April 8th, 2022. All the facts you need to know for the Patriot on the go. Patriots of the world, hope we're doing well. And here we are up on another weekend again. Alrighty, let's do our announcements. Yes, I will be doing a Patriot Health Report tomorrow with Bob Gilpatrick right here on all of these channels. And you can be sure and check that out. The topic's going to be about choosing proper nutrition, different supplements, what you need, what you don't need, etc. Complex thing. A lot of people do a lot of research. They try to study to find out exactly what to do. Well, tune in. You can get some really, really good advice and from the expert. Definitely. So anyway, that is tomorrow. Let's see what else. Let's get right into it. Item 1, space weather brought to us by Laura Walker of the OracleReport.com. 3 of the Sabian symbols reference our earthly vehicles, the vessels that we wear to drive through life, or the soul's journey here on earth. Sometimes we are road warriors, and sometimes we are road weariness. Today we have a choice between the lower octaves of mistrust, loss, worry, being wronged, or unkept promises, or the higher octaves of trust in the divine, open potentials, appreciation for what one has, and the ability to transcend. Today is 6th Eagle, the transformation of liberty. So what we choose either drives or reverses the course of freedom. Mercury conjuncts Eris, and we could see the cabal taking unfair advantage at our expense by sliding in different players. Good care of the body and choice of rising above conditions keep we the people in shape and on track for Tuesday, when a massive spiritual influx of energy arrives with a conjunction of Jupiter and Neptune. Oh yeah, very, very good space weather. The choice is ours. Which way are we going to go? Are we going to be road warriors or road weariness? Yes, go to the high side without a doubt. And this next Tuesday, big event. Sure, we'll be hearing more about that on space weather. So let's move right along. Item 2, economics, currencies, cryptos, equities, and precious metals. No major changes up or down, 10% or more. Oh my goodness, no, not even a 1% change in the U.S. markets. This is incredible to look at. We have Europe swinging back 1% up. From their 1% down yesterday. Again, the markets are tightly controlled. Taking a look at Asia, nothing. I mean, we're talking like fractional, not even 1% on anything. Absolutely amazing to look at. Looking at gold, silver, crude oil, they are all up. Actually, we're looking at gold's up $1.40. Whoop, just jumped right now to $1.60 to $1,939.40. Silver's up 9 cents to $24.82 per troy ounce. Crude oil, look at this. It had dropped down, but it's back up, $96.99. Pretty amazing, under that $100 a barrel mark. I still think at some point we are going to see $200 a barrel oil, without a doubt. Taking a look at cryptos here. Yeah, down, mostly in the red. Bitcoin's at 43,339. XRP 77 cents, Litecoin 112.34, and all of those are down, but slightly, again, just like fractional. So not a lot to report on the economic side, other than the Black Swan event continues. Oh, and the Russian ruble, you won't see this in the economic reports anywhere in the West. Russian ruble is stronger than it has been in well over a year, and has gained all of its losses from the sanctions that were placed against it, and it continues to rise. And like I said yesterday and reported, China has come out and made a statement that they will be buying all the oil, the gas, and grain, and any other products that Russia wants to sell to them in abundance. Plus, it appears that because of the sanctions placed against Russia, one of the big exports to the UK is sunflower seed oil, okay, sunflower seed oil. And because they only have, I think it was reported, a really low amount. Let me see if I can find it. Oh goodness, where was it? I just had this a minute ago. I was reading the article. It was kind of fascinating. And they are down, I think it's like a week. And they're at a point where they are just about to use up all of their sunflower oil that they have there. And they are looking and searching for potential new forms of oil that they can use, possibly rapeseed oil, which really isn't that good for you, to do their fish and chips. Because chips, fried fish and chips are a big, big deal in the UK. It's, like a national food. It's been around for centuries and people love it. And a lot is consumed and they are running out of oil. So that's pretty interesting. Yeah, these sanctions are going to come back and bite them. As a matter of fact, there was a thing that came out from the United States government, from an insider apparently, who was talking about what's going on, and they had some research done at the White House, and apparently they think that the economic sanctions are going to economically pretty much destroy the EU. But they think, through all of the research and the trends, that Russia will be okay. You can't make this stuff up. And they continue on. They're putting more sanctions on them. It's like, oh my God, talk about shooting yourself in the foot. Absolutely amazing to watch. Anyway, so if you're in the UK, heads up. You might want to run out and get yourself some sunflower seed oil, because it's going to be gone off the shelves and be very hard to get in the very near future. Alrighty. And you can thank UK government for the sanctions that they placed. And the sanctions never work. Sanctions never work. It's absolutely outrageous. I did see at the EU, the representative, I believe from Ireland, was really fired up and spoke to the EU about these sanctions and how they don't work. And just, it was a pretty amazing speech. As a matter of fact, I think what I'll do is actually play that right now so you can hear it. And I'm really not sure who she represents, but I do know she's in the EU Parliament. So here we go. Her name, oh, by the way, I do have her name. And her name is Claire Daly. All right, so this is Miss Claire Daly speaking at the EU Parliament.
Onorevole Daly, ha facoltà di replicare.
I would love, colleague Jambaski, to tell me any circumstance in which NATO has played a productive role or delivered peace anywhere. History has taught us that sanctions do not end military conflict. They do not bring peace. They make the people suffer, not the oligarchs, the people of Russia, the people of Europe. And they're not going to help save lives, because the more arms you pump into Ukraine, the more the war will be prolonged, the more Ukrainians will die. And it might sound radical, colleagues, but the answer to war is not more war, it's peace. And peace isn't delivered by the barrel of a gun, it's delivered by diplomacy, by dialogue. You can wish away your continent's history, but we share a continent with Russia. We will sit down with Russia. There will be a negotiated peace, and this organisation should be promoting it earlier rather than delaying it and making sure that more Ukrainians die. Your feigning of sympathy rings hollow. It makes me sick, to be honest with you.
So again, that was Miss Claire Daly speaking at the EU Parliament. Very, very, very interesting speech she made there. Actually, some people walked out when she said that. I mean, they didn't want to hear it at all, but it's very true. I mean, this is the economic reality we're living in right now, and I'm sure our listeners in the UK will be able to report to us exactly what happens over there, especially with the sunflower oil. So hang in there. So that is it for the economic side of it, which rolls us right into the geopolitical. Again, stay positive on the economics. A lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, all right? Mindset. Take the higher road in all this and be positive. Item 3, geopolitical. Yeah, taking a look at things geopolitically. Of course, the war rages on in Ukraine. Now, here's an interesting article that will not surprise you. 3 U.S. intel officials tell NBC News that the intelligence Biden released on Russia-Ukraine was made up. Really? We're so shocked. Yeah, no, we're not. The psyops is off the charts, but now they're even admitting it, because as these things progress, some people are even intelligence officials are so shocked. They're like, this is just off the charts. And the way the reality of it actually is, almost everything we're hearing in the Western media, it's the exact opposite. I kid you not. And I've been watching this closely. Like I say, I monitor this closely from all different news feeds from all over the world. Okay, that's what I'm doing for you guys, and for myself. I'm very curious, but some good examples of this. They say Russia is blocking in all of the humanitarian corridors and bombing them. It's just the opposite. It is Russia who's opened up the humanitarian corridors and have been protecting people, and it's been the Ukrainians shooting at them. Fact, it's been proven. All kinds of witnesses are out there and testimony coming out. As a matter of fact, the International Red Cross wanted to set up a refugee center and help in Rostov, which is right across the border from Ukraine into Russia, and the Ukrainians contested it. Another good example, the International Red Cross wants to go in and see the Russian prisoners in Ukraine, and Ukraine says no. The International Red Cross is only getting assistance and cooperation from Russia. Russia is giving them protection, they're driving them places, and this, again, International Red Cross, not Russian. I mean, people from the UN and the International Red Cross and international aid organizations. And another good example, there was a bombing. There was at the railway station in Kramatorsk, Ukraine, and it was a big area where they were evacuating people because Ukrainians said they were going to make it into the second Mariupol, right, which is a city that they took over on the Azov Sea, which has almost been totally taken over by the Russians. There's a fierce battle going on there now to clean up the rest of the people, the Nazis that are there, the Azov. And anyway, all of these people were evacuating from the city, and all of a sudden a missile comes in and hits right there. And of course, Ukraine is coming out saying Russia, shot a missile at these innocent civilians trying to flee the city and all of this. And unfortunately for the Ukrainians, but very fortunately for the world and Russia, the missile that was shot in there wasn't totally destroyed. And it turns out that the missile that actually hit there was a Tucha-U ballistic missile. And the fragments of tail, even writing on them, has been found. But here's the problem. Those missiles are only used by the Ukrainian forces. Russia doesn't even use those. Those are Ukrainians. So the Ukrainians actually shot a missile at these innocent people and then went there and filmed it and started crying to the world, look what Russia has done. But the problem was even Ukraine's own media and the journalists that rushed there found these fragments, filmed them, put them out to all the news organizations, and it's a Ukrainian missile. Russia even knows where it was fired from and which unit did it. So absolutely amazing. So you're going to hear that all over the news. And, of course, they never retract anything or tell the truth in anything. But, it's kind of interesting to watch the PSYOPs on CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. Fox News is probably one of the most dangerous because they are literally a wolf in sheep's clothing. They pretend to be conservative, more, all of this. It's not true. I mean, they're like right up there with the rest of them pushing the agenda. Yes, there's I'd say Tucker Carlson, maybe Jesse Walters, the only ones that are putting some truth out. But who knows why they allow that? Maybe to give themselves a hint of credibility and keep people hanging on. So anyway, but the reports of the missile was not a Russian missile. Has been proven already that it was a Ukrainian missile. And also the fact that Russia was kicked out of the United Nations humanitarian mission yesterday where the Human Rights Council, they threw them off there, and they did so, they said, because of the war crimes that Russia has committed in Bucha. But here's the problem, and I'll remind you of this. Russia tried twice immediately when this happened. They wanted to call a special session in the United Nations for the thing that happened, for an immediate investigation, and they had evidence, and the UN said no. They were blocked by the UK. So then they put forward another request because it's just so outrageous, because the world was like wanted Russia to pay for these crimes, and Russia said, okay, let's have an independent investigation. They brought it up again, and again they said, nope, we're not going to investigate it. So the very thing that they refused to investigate or look at any evidence, they threw Russia for that thing that they won't allow anyone to investigate out of the Human Rights Council. This is outrageous. This is crazy. So Russia left early, like, okay, that's it. I think we're going to see the disintegration of the United Nations. What is that? Oh, I think I hear people applauding out there. I wouldn't shed a tear if the UN disintegrated, because I tell you what, it has turned into something. Oh boy, something not good. Something not good. It's being totally used and manipulated under the guise of international law, and only international laws are observed when people want them observed. And, it's just outrageous what the entire thing has turned into. So anyway, that is ongoing, so be aware of that. Now, what I'm going to do, like I do every day, like I told you I would do until this conflict is resolved, is I'm going to play right now today for April 8th, the report from the Russian military defense in English, and I'll play the video here for you. And again, PIR is about the only place you're going to see or hear this stuff, because, man, this is highly, highly censored. You think I got kicked off of YouTube fast? Oh, my goodness, if I tried this on YouTube, oh, my God, can you imagine? They nuked my account already for nothing over there, what was over a year ago, but oh, my gosh. Anyway, so here we go. How about a little bit of truth from the Russian Ministry of Defense?
The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue the special military operation in Ukraine. High-precision air-based missiles in Donetsk region have destroyed weapons and military equipment of the Ukrainian military reserves arriving in Donbass at Pokrovsk, Slaviansk and Barvenkovo railway stations. High-precision missiles of Bastion coastal missile system have destroyed the foreign mercenary assembly and training center near Krasnoselka, northeast of Odessa. Russian air defense means shot down 2 Ukrainian military helicopters in the air, Mi-8 and Mi-24, near Staraya Zburyevka, as well as 5 unmanned aerial vehicles, including 2 Bayraktar TB2 near Kryvyi Rog. Operational tactical aviation of the Russian aerospace forces and missile troops hit 81 military assets of Ukraine, among them 2 command posts, 1 OSA anti-aircraft missile launcher, 3 multiple rocket launchers, as well as 9 strong points and 59 areas of Ukrainian military equipment concentration. In total, 97 helicopters, 421 unmanned aerial vehicles, 228 long and medium-range anti-aircraft missile systems, 2,019 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 223 multiple launch rocket systems, 874 field artillery and mortars, as well as 1,917 units of special military vehicles were destroyed during the operation.
And again, that is the Russian Ministry of Defense daily briefing on what is going on. How about those totals at the bottom there? Absolutely amazing. And when they give those totals, those are totals from the beginning of the operation. And today is day 45, by the way, of Operation Z that they began. And it continues on. Alrighty, we'll be following that closely. So that's about it for the geopolitical. Let's roll over to item 4, Earth changes. Yeah, taking a look at this, not a lot to report. We could get some, actually some blizzard weather out in the west and the Midwest, so be aware of that. Some very strong storms up through the south again. So yeah, it's going to be pretty intense. They're actually talking about changing the beginning of the hurricane season because they're looking at the weather patterns right now. And they believe that we may see an early start to hurricane season. And they did stretch it till it goes further into the winter months. So they are expanding those boundaries. And they're having to do so because of why? Well, that's right. Earth changes. Yeah, that's where we're at right now. But that's about it right now. Nothing major. Well, I take that back. It is major if your house gets hit by a tornado. Oh, you know what? I had one person ask me yesterday in the comments of Phoenix, what about if you dig down a foot, there's water? Yeah, that's a problem. That is a problem in low-lying areas to have that. But you know what? You can do fortified, above-ground, safe rooms in your house. They are out there, and there's ways to construct these things. There's special materials, different things, and you can literally take a large closet, a storage area or something that you can also use, say like a pantry, and you can make it into a fortified shelter above ground. Those are available also. Okay, so there are alternatives. So look into that. All right, with Earth changes, that is about it. So just be aware, more bad weather potentially over the weekend here down the Gulf area and southern area, and you may get some blizzard conditions, out in the Midwest. So be advised. Alrighty, that's about it for Earth changes. Let's go to item 5, tip of the day. Tip of the day I have for you kind of ties in, bookends, if you will, with the space weather we had today from Lord Walker. It has to do with your mindset, what you're thinking, the road that you're choosing. There's a commercial out there. It's about credit cards or something like that. It's like, hey, what do you have in your wallet? What's in your wallet? And it's kind of like a little cliche thing on the commercial. Everybody's heard it. Most people have. I have a question for you. What's in your head? Seriously, what are you thinking? The scriptures say, as a man or woman thinketh, so he is, or so she is, right? It's your mindset. What are you thinking? Are you looking to the positive? Are you looking at the negative? The old saying and cliche about a glass half full or half empty is so true. So true. So many people dwell in negativity. They see the dark side. They see the half empty glass instead of the half full glass. We have to count our blessings, right? And this is a mindset. This is a way to operate. This is a way in our bodysuits here as we are living, experiencing a physical existence in a spiritual reality. We have to carefully watch our mind. And the tip of the day I have for you is be careful with your thoughts. And not only that, being spring here in the Northern Hemisphere, it's time to sow some seeds. Well, you can sow some seeds too. You've heard the saying, the old proverb, I guess it is, not a proverb, but a scripture, you reap what you sow, right? And as you go around, your mindset, your heart, what you emanate from your energy is like seeds. You're planting seeds, people, and impressions, feelings, and I tell you, you can literally go out and sow love and joy and peace and calm in your local environment, in the store you go into, with your family members, with your friends. And you can do that by a smile, by being positive, to not jumping on the negative boat when other people do. You can just be happy. Be patient. If you're standing in the line and you've ever been in the line and you're that person behind that person, they don't have the prices right, or they're short on change or something, and a big long line forms behind you. And what do they always do? And you've probably been in this position. You look nervously, but like how long the line is and everybody's faces. Don't be the person with the frown on your face. Be the person with a smile to let them know it's okay. Because it's no big deal. Small things like that. Hold the door open for somebody. Be positive, right? You really want to freak a friend out or blow somebody's mind, just be happy, and they may ask you, why are you so happy? Say, you can kind of mess with him. You can say, because I know something. Well, what do you know? Well, I know something. And they'll push you there because people are curious. Well, what do you know? Say, I know how this all ends. And that'll get their attention. Be like, oh, really? How does it end? You can just say, God wins. And who's going to argue with that? Who's going to say, no, God's not going to win? It'll make them think. And they'll maybe roll their eyes and like, oh, okay, whatever. But you know what? You planted a seed. They'll think about that later. And just continue to smile and be happy, because you've got to know in your heart and hold on to that thought that God does win. No matter what we're seeing in the world, no matter what you see on the news, no matter what you read on the internet, no matter what your nearest, dearest ones or friends or family or neighbors say or think, doesn't matter. You be the shining light of hope, of strength, and joy. Remember, the ultimate goal, to live a happy and victorious life during tumultuous times. Okay? You be the lighthouse. You be the strong rock. You can do this. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how young you are, how strong or weak you are. You can do this because you got that fire inside of you. And so the tip of the day I have for you is what's in your head. Okay? And go out and sow some seeds today and this weekend with a smile, with hope. And if anyone asks you why you're so happy, just tell them you know how the story ends. And that'll be the conversation. Anyway, so that is my tip of the day. Alrighty. Last but not least, let's go to the prophetic word of the day by Doug Addison. Doug has for us today, April 8th, 2022. Your suffering and pain is now paying off. Wow. I'll accept that. Your suffering and pain is now paying off. I like that. So that is it. Alrighty, everyone. Short, sweet, and to the point. Rolling out of this week, going into the weekend until tomorrow on Saturday when I do the Patriot Health Report with Bob Gilpatrick. Be well, stay alert, and remember, what's in your head? Smile. All right. And above all, where we go one, we go all. God bless.